Hola, soy Litzy La Bomba Dilene, boxeadora profesional de México, y estás viendo el show de Todd Atkins, en donde verás y escucharás a grandes talentos del boxeo. No te lo puedes perder.
Alright.
All right, so this is Todd Atkins, and I'm here with Stanley James, Philadelphia boxer, um,
So yes,
and possibly future bare knuckle fighter, from what I'm hearing. And he trained with Ivan Robinson, a guy that I grew up watching, in high school, and had on my show. And yeah, just an incredible, opportunity. And so we're gonna bring Stanley on here today, and just check out the channel, subscribe, support the channel. And Stanley, I kind of want to give you a chance to introduce yourself to anyone who may not be familiar with you.
yep. Hey, how you guys doing? Velocity from Philadelphia, heavyweight boxer, influence boxer, professional boxer, um, bare knuckle, anything you could think of, man. I'm out here. I mean, I'm getting my hands dirty, trying to get formally introduced to the fighting world. I did a lot of underground fighting my whole life. Now we focus on going professional and see what the world holds.
Now let's talk about, did you start out with Ivan or were you doing elsewhere?
I actually started out. My first trainer that I had was Mr. Gino. The first gym I ever touched was Front Street. I said Front Street. Joe Frazier's gym
Oh, wow.
in Philadelphia, Broad and Glenwood. Um, Mr. Gino died around 7 or 8. I migrated to Willie Torres boxing gym on Seventh and I think that's like uh, Seventh and Erie. Yeah, I would say Seventh and Erie, Seventh and Venango. That gym closed down, and I ended up going to Harold Gates, and that's officially where I met Mighty at Harold Gates with Mr. Charlie. And yeah, that shut down, and me and Ivan been at 365 ever since. So, I started fighting at 7 on and off, actually taking it serious since I say maybe 17, 18. I met Ivan about 5, 6 years ago, so we've been rocking ever since.
Now maybe talk about, because like I said, you were in Joe Frazier's gym. What was that like just being in
It was a
that
great
aura?
experience. Coming from Philadelphia, even though it's probably not highlighted as much over the years, that was a very great experience. We talk about Joe Frazier. I mean, one of the guys to go against Ali, so that's like a super big thing in Philly. I be mad at Philly a little bit though. I don't know if I should say this because I should always be politically correct, but it's like they cherish Rocky more than they do my man Joe Frazier. I don't like that. So, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, what was it like there just being? Because
it
we're
was
kind of having a
awesome.
boxing kind of discussion here, and
hmm
as you said, the legend of Joe Frazier. What was it like just being in that, kind of being in that? When was that you first found that gym?
I say maybe 2000.
So Joe
Yeah,
was still,
maybe 2000, 2001.
so Joe was still alive at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
family was there. He had his daughter in there, a couple other family members. It was a great experience. Yeah, it was love. It was aura. It was Philly. It was something dope for us. It was like a mecca, like one of the main boxing gyms. And I mean, since that closed down, there's a couple boxing gyms in the world, but it ain't Joe Frazier. We talk about Joe Frazier boxing gym, the legend. So, I mean, the aura and all was just it was Philly landmark. You know what I mean?
And was he giving you guys any coaching or?
Yeah, he was in there. He was doing what he was doing. Typical coach, boxing gym stuff. He was there, made his presence known. Definitely interacted with everybody. Was there daily. Um, yeah, it was a very great experience.
And would he have Marvis there with him or?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing him fight a little bit too. And how long was that gym open when you were there? Because you said it closed down.
Um, I say maybe I left 2000 and probably 8 or 9, 2025 now. So yeah, that's probably about 15, 16 years ago. So yeah, it's been probably closed for a little while now. I probably was closed a little earlier than that when I left, but yeah,
Because
I really just
Joe
left because
passed
my
in
trainer
2011.
passed
Yeah,
2011. Okay,
yeah.
yep.
So, you start training with Ivan Robinson. He's not as legendary as Joe Frazier, but in my eyes, a
Right.
guy that I watch fight a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, to me, he's,
What
incredible
I
in his own
mean,
right.
he's in my top five, and I'm not gonna lie. After Joe Frazier, I would have to give it to my man Mighty.
Yeah,
Mighty hit a lot of milestones in his life, and he fought a lot of greats, and
yeah,
he accomplished some things. So that's why I picked him to be my trainer. It's actually kind of funny because I've heard him and seen him. I actually seen him spar a couple times because, like I said, I was in and out the gym since 7, so I watched him. He was like somebody to watch as a young boxing guy trying to be somebody, and you know, we was on Instagram. We was just typing back and forth, and he told me if I needed him, come talk to him. And to me, that was super huge because I'm like, yo,
yeah,
this is like what? This crazy.
yeah.
And I was in my hiatus going around doing my fights. This one I was just strictly just influencer. Going to CFL and trying to get on Misfits and stuff like that. Most of my fan base really come from like UK. I did a lot of fights in UK, and Misfits kind of big out there with the collaboration with Eddie Hearns and DAZN. And I was like, okay, if I could have any trainer, because I was training by myself. I didn't have no boxing trainer or anything. I was like typically going from gym to gym, just trying to find the whole boxing thing, period. Because like I said, I was like coming strictly from off the street fighting, and my fan base and everything just picked up. And then like my first fight was in front of 40,000, and then it was like 40,000, then like 10,000, and these are like my first fights ever. So I'm like, who do I want to be my trainer because it's getting bigger and I can't go out there thinking I'm somebody I'm not. Like, I took the opportunity and I was like, let me get with Mighty. And I was happy that I got with him. But after a couple of weeks and stuff like that, I was kind of miserable about it because Mighty is old school. The
Yeah.
way them guys work and they condition themselves, like these young boys in our generation is kind of like they're not going through them things, and if they are, they're probably one of the greats. But yeah, I ended up falling in love with it. Mighty's a great coach. The way he teaches, the time he takes on his clients, and he's just all into it. He loved the boxing craft, so he don't half step, and he's gonna make sure you don't either.
So your first fights, like you're saying, were those in England?
Yeah, there was a UK, Japan, Rhode Island, Mexico, Albuquerque,
What were the
um,
fights in UK?
on DH plus. There's some guys out UK. Like I said, Misfits. Who else?
I know what Misfits is because I know Salt Pappy.
Yeah, Salt Pappy, man,
my
Salt
wife's from
Pappy.
the
I don't know.
Philippines, so he's
Yeah, I don't know if
Filipino.
you've seen it on my page, but it's in my it's in my highlights. Me and Salt Pappy got a fight this year on Misfits that we've been trying to place a deal with it's my guy name.
He's too small for you, though. You weren't not fighting
Yeah,
him.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
coming down. I'm not heavyweight no more. A lot of people think I'm heavyweight. I ain't fighting the last 6 months. The last 6 months,
but I mean, Salt
not even
Pappy's like
6 months. I'm as
156, I think. He's light now.
yeah. I came down from 270 to 185 right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't stepped up. My heavyweight career ended at 11-0. I'm going down to either welterweight or junior welterweight. That's my goal right now. I know I'm kind of like cruiserweighting, stuff like that. So when I come back, that's like one of my first. if not my first fights, maybe my third, fourth fights in 2025.
Because how hard is it, like, as you're saying, how hard is it to break into, regular boxing? Or are you just choosing to do these other things? What's the thought
I
process
mean,
behind it?
so back in the day and stuff like that, the word wasn't very visual. It was more so word of mouth. So you didn't really know like who was who, and you had to be a part of, you had to be a part of certain gangs and stuff. You had to know somebody that knows somebody. So now everything is like direct to consumer. So I guess you just have to have a fan base and be willing to, cross them lines and make things happen. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Most of my opportunities came from uploading clips of me fighting and just doing things and going viral. And I had big promoters and people like that reach out to me, far as like Gillian Wallow, Rough and Rowdy, Tough Man, things of that sort. And that's what actually led me to being able to go on the zone and things like that, because I had people that reached out to me like R&B. It's my man name, a old boxer, Puerto Rican guy, Barbosa, Alex Barbosa. Had me fighting at the 2300 arena, and I ended up running in and getting signed to James Toney, critical critical management. That's what I'm signed to right now. It's James Toney Boxing Company. So all these things just came from me being an influencer online and just showing the world what I can do and showing up every time.
Now we were talking about Ivan's old school. What did he think about, like, your
He's
your
not
career
he's not used to
direction?
that. Even
Yeah,
even right now, like me and Mighty go and beef about it all the time. Not really because that's my old head. We love each other to death, but that's our misunderstandings most of the time. I'm new school, he's old school. He don't understand the whole social media thing and promoting and collabing with people, because back in his time, like, I guess he figured he had to go through a lot more things than we had to now, because it wasn't direct to consumer. So for me to be able to be right here, right now, is just, I don't know. We laugh about it all the time because it's such a great experience, because it's 2025.
but I mean, he'd probably prefer that you just box like in boxing
Yeah,
promotions,
that's
right?
what he
He
tell
doesn't
me.
want
When
you to do these other
Nope, he
things.
don't want me to do none of this other stuff. He looks at it like, but the only reason why I do that is because before I even ended up signing and thinking about going pro, I wanted to take advantage of all these things, because once you signed under USA Boxing or you ended up going pro, you kind of bonded by your contract. So it's like, this is little money I could get right now, and it's something that I love doing. And they're not really going to the gym training as hard as me and stuff like that. So that's how I'm thinking. So it's easy money for me. He don't he's more thinking long term. Like, okay, you think like that, but say you have a contract coming up for like 200,000. Boxing longevity, like, you really going to run out there and get this 2,500 and risk yourself getting hurt or hurting yourself, and But I'm not thinking like that. I'm still young,
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking because I know he's not too crazy about these other things.
No, not at all.
So you were talking about it. We were talked about offline. You said you might be getting into some bare knuckle. Like, who were you involved with that?
Okay, so I have a manager named Korea, and he's from New York. And basically what he do is he basically connected with BKFC in ways where he has a management where he can scout for me to get fights, and he's kind of close to the people where that can happen, besides me already being close to David and Damon and stuff like that, fighting with celebrity boxing. That was like one of the first people that I ended up fighting with too, since I was like 16. So I have a very great relationship with Damon. I seen all of these things unfold, and we got a great relationship. I'm one of their top guys that they usually reach out to get involved in fights and stuff like that. So I think when it comes to that, that's like just like inevitable. That was going to happen anyway.
But I mean, have they talked about like a date or who you might compete against or anything like that?
Oh no, not yet. Because like I said, right now I'm really just in camp, just training and weight and willing to drop weight. I really want to come back fighting in a different weight class. Like anybody that know me, honestly, I never weighed over 150, 160 since I was born, except for these last 3 years. I got kids, I got a girlfriend, I eat all the time, I'm living comfortable. So this is all just fat guy weight, but boxing is like riding a bike, you'll never forget it. So it's like I'm getting back in the gym, getting the wrestling stuff off, and I don't want to keep fighting heavyweight. It's not as a big deal. I just figure I'm 11-0. I had to find time with it and stuff like that. But I'm going down to where the money at in all the competition. It ain't really no fights in heavyweight. It is, but they say they want to see me fight some dogs, so I'm coming.
Ivan hasn't tried to steer you in any certain direction.
Oh yeah, definitely pro. He just want me to fight pro and get some belts and unify and do those things. He got great connects. Like I said, that type of stuff is inevitable. He see where I'm heading and what I want to do. That's his direction though. That's not really my direction right now, only because I'm more so an influencer. I don't know if you could tell looking at my career,
Hmm.
but I'm not just a boxer. I'm a philanthropist. I own a homeless shelter here. I have food trucks. I have restaurants. I'm about to open up another restaurant. I'm usually going to school, talking to kids and stuff like that in my spare time and doing things like that. So I, I'm a movie star. I just dropped a movie that came out in the movie theaters April 12th. I got 5 other movies that I did this year that didn't even drop yet. So I'm not just focused on boxing. I'm not really a boxer like a stone cold hard boxer. It's just I love fighting is something that I always did, and that was kind of like my ticket into getting in the door. I had to fight my whole life, and the fight continues.
What's the movie that?
Access is a bank robbery movie, which I'm highly um happy to be a part of. I love bank robbery movies. There's only a couple of them. I was actually able to star in one, and Access is a great movie. It only came out in the KOP movie theater. We actually having another one May 15th for the second screening, and then after that it'll be on Netflix and Tubi and stuff
Mm.
like that. And it's a great movie. I'm not going to tell it all, but it's about a bank robbery, and it go down. You got to see it, man. There's a wonderful storyline.
What were the bank robbery movies you were talking about that you like?
What what's my joint? My favorite one, the Inside Man. Inside Man get me every time. I love Inside Man. What else? Of course, Set It Off. Um, the new joint that just came out, The Harder They Fall. Um, what else? Movie Money Heist. I love that on Netflix. That's one of my favorite series. Anything that got something to do with the big robbery, I don't know. I just love them joints.
You're missing one. That's why I'm asking you.
Heat.
Well, Heat's good, yeah, but you're missing one. In my opinion, you're missing one.
Um,
It's newer than Heat, but not new, I would say.
yeah, newer than Heat.
The Town. Have you ever seen
The
The Town?
Town.
Yeah, come
Dang,
on.
how did I miss that? That's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of my favorite joints
yeah.
too.
I
My
mean,
man Ben Affleck. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I
yeah,
don't know how I missed that joint, but yeah, that's one of my favorite ones too.
yeah. There's an interesting backstory. I don't know how much research you've done on that, but
Well, of the
they had a,
Town.
yeah, they had a prison there in Charlestown. So a lot of these guys got out, and that's where they settled. So that's why there were so many bank robbers or armor car robbers from Charlestown, because these are
Oh,
generations of inmates that had come out of this
oh,
prison that was in Charlestown.
oh! Wow, that's
So they were
crazy.
teaching their kids how to do this stuff because that's what they did.
Mhm.
And
Sound about right.
there was a fairly large crew that kind of not a large crew in number. I think there's only about 4 or 5 of them, but Shea was the last name of I forgot the guy's first name, but the town's kind of loosely based on what they were doing to some degree. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
his mom was just straight up telling him, "Look, we have no money. You have to go out there and rob somebody." She didn't tell
Right.
him to go get a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
steal something. Go do something. So they robbed a lot of armored cars and banks, and they made a little mistake though. They killed a couple of guards because one of the guards pulled the
Mhm.
guy's mask off. They got into a little bit of
Wow.
tussle in the car, the armored car. So they executed those guys, and that really
Uh,
got them in hot water at that point.
another big thing too is one of my number one main supporters. Is so funny because I used to watch him since I was a younger guy and hear about everything he did too. Because my mom was from South Philly, Joey Marlino.
Mhm. Joey
So
Marbino.
he rocked. Yeah, he was like one of the mob guys back in Philadelphia back in the day, and he actually robbed the bank and. On a I-95 on the freeway, he threw out like $300,000 worth of like money when he was getting locked up, and that's something that's stapled in my brain too.
Yeah, it's crazy though because Charlestown's only like maybe a mile in diameter, but the majority of bank robberies and armored car robberies in Boston, all the suspects were from that area.
That's
You know,
crazy. That's super duper crazy.
because of the prison. That's where they decided to live after they got out.
Mm.
So yeah, it's an interesting story. The
Yeah, I'm gonna do
if you
my
go back
research
and
on it, like you said.
yeah, if you go and look at some of these documentaries about Charlestown, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
Um, Now let's talk about a little bit. I know we kind of touched on some of the training with Ivan, but to me, Ivan was known for his pace. He would throw a billion
Yeah.
punches around.
Yep.
Is that kind of how he's pushing you to do, or is he more lenient, kind of with okay that maybe this guy styles this guy styles that?
For sure. Since the moment I came in, I'm gonna just give you a little breakdown so you know how extensive this is. So when I first started fighting influencer boxing, I fought 1 minute, 3 rounds. So 3 minutes every fight, right? When I met Ivan from the first day, he wasn't even focused on like training me. Like I really started from rock bottom. Like when I came to his gym, I was already like 3-0, something like that. He wasn't trying to hear nothing. I knew how to fight. I was out there fighting in front of all these people. Nope, I'm sparring all the time. I was fighting. I was fighting and sparring 4 minute rounds for 5 rounds. So, and I wasn't even used to that because I wasn't always in and I told you I was in and out the gym and stuff like that. So from the first day I met Ivan, yeah. Come in the gym, jump rope 30 minutes. Then you in the gym. I mean, you in the ring getting around for 4 rounds. Then you shadow boxing for 3, 4 rounds. Then you sparring for 4 rounds. Then you hitting the bag for 3 rounds. You doing your 100 push-ups and your 100 sit-ups. Uh, he doing the medicine ball with you, and then you leave in the gym. 2 hours in the gym every day. That's what you're doing from the time you get in there. No sitting down, no nothing. All day sparring, at least 3, 4 times a week. Well, not 3, 4. I'm lying. Like 2, 3 times. Um, yeah, conditioning. Like he don't play like that. That guy. He's old school.
But I mean, does he try to kind of? Because I never really asked him this. Does he try to kind of? I want you guys to fight like I did, where I throw a ton of punches around, or is he more
Oh
like,
no, I just
I'll
told
let
you
you
I'm
do
hitting.
this, I'll let you do
Yeah,
that.
I'm
He's more
hitting.
liberal
No.
with what he's doing. Okay, so as we were talking about with Ivan's training, kind of continue there.
Yeah, so basically, I'm doing 3 to 4 rounds on a boxing bag, the punching bag for 3 to 4 rounds, 3, 4 minutes, and that's straight. That ain't like just punching the bag, going over it. Like we're punching straight. Like sometimes I'm probably punching, hooks and doing combinations for about a round or two, but most of the rounds is just punching the bag until you tire all the way until the bell is over.
Mhm. Now, you know, like what styles he tried to develop in you?
I think I'm a heavy puncher. I'm more so Mike Tyson. Have a little bit of like Shakur, that type of thing. But yeah, I'm really like a knockout bull. Like that's really my thing. Like, yeah, it's just gonna get brutal. I'm just a puncher. I'm a brawler. I mean, I try to box with a style. I mean, I try to make it look good, but for the most part, I'm just trying to beat the hell out of you.
Now I know you were into the influencer stuff. Like, are you familiar with like Trap Gambino? Yeah,
Trap game beat.
Trap Daddy.
Oh yeah, from out Florida. We fought on plenty of cards together. PBA, they love me out there. I had a plenty of fights in Tampa.
Because he's trying to start his own thing in Las Vegas or whatever.
Okay, I see he on a car right now traveling. I was supposed to be on the CS their thing. They got a fight in Mexico. I don't know if you've seen that.
Mm-mm.
They got a couple good fights that's happening. But yeah, I was supposed to be on one of their cards in Tampa. Yeah, me and the management ain't really see eye to eye, but he's a good fighter. I like him. I like Malcolm Peck. There's a couple of good fighters that they got out there in Tampa.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights in Tampa,
Yep.
MMA
Andre
and
Berto, shout out to Andre Berto. He
yeah,
always show love to me when I'm out Tampa. You know what I mean? And my man William Gosu that fight that play for the Bucks. I always get a lot of love when I come out there.
yeah. It's becoming like kind of like a hotbed a little bit. All of
Yep.
Florida in general, but Tampa and Miami, I would say, of various promotions.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Maybe tell me a little bit about like Philadelphia. Philadelphia obviously is a boxing,
Hmm.
kind of legendary boxing city. Maybe give me kind of like your your feelings on Philadelphia as a boxing city, or kind of what like someone who like me I've never even been to Philadelphia actually. Um,
Hmm.
I've gone through their airports many times, but I never really kind of went there. And so maybe tell us like what Philly's about, what kind of boxing's about in Philadelphia.
All right, so Philadelphia is basically just a doghouse, just in general. All the great fighters kind of know each other because we usually going around sparring some of the top guys, and it's kind of like a dog eat dog kind of thing. I mean, Philadelphia is kind of segregated. We have neighborhoods, so it's even like that with the boxing gyms and the schools and that. Like you just from that neighborhood, you from that neighborhood, so you would expect Philly to me to be a big boxing community, but everybody don't mess with each other. You know what I mean? Everybody think they have the best fighters and they want the best opportunities. And when you send the contracts, they want the most money. That's why the best fights never happen. And I mean, we trying to stop that right now because we are the mecca of fighting. And you know, I don't know. Philly's just been kind of to me falling a little bit when it comes to the unity and stuff like that. And it's plenty of reasons and plenty of things that go on outside of boxing, which probably is the reason. But it's definitely a hub for fighting, and you'll find some great fights here. You can find some great sparring here, but yeah, Philly not no place to come if you're trying to I guess be the best fighter and you're trying to gain knowledge and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, we just gonna probably try to beat the shit out you in sparring. Like that's what I learned being from Philadelphia. It ain't like no working your way up to get there. It's kind of like you got it or you don't got it.
Right, but I think like in the earlier years, and even I'm, but kind of that there's a Phil, he's a Philly fighter kind of thing. Why do you think all these a lot of these techniques or sayings came out of Philly?
I think that's true. We are some of the greats and some people that's stepping up from Philly. Like we got Boots. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's like a love hate thing when it comes to just Philadelphia and the world. I think the world know we're such good fighters that we have to prove ourselves double, triple time to actually be that. Like look at Boots. People always wanted him to get to where he at. Now he where he at, and it's kind of like, oh, but he's fighting this person, or he keep getting punched, or it's just a love hate thing. I don't know.
Mm. More critical now that he's at a high point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Same thing with Stephen Fulton. He's great. He get the same thing. Look at Tevin Farmer, man. Tevin is great, man. And I don't know. I just say politics. That's what I say.
Now Fulton, he fought in Niue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yep.
what do you what do you think of Inoue? I mean, he's fights in. I
I
lived in
think he's
Japan. That's why I'm asking. I lived there for
I don't know.
three
Like me,
years, and
honestly, I think he's great. He looked like he got power. He looked like he got technique.
I didn't think that he would be able to do that much to a Philly fighter, especially Fulton. But I mean, he shocked me and he shocked us all. And I don't know, he shows great boxing skills, but I don't know. Me personally, just being a fighter, I think he overrated. But I mean, it's different when you step in that ring, and that's the time to tell everything that you was thinking to be true or false.
Yeah, and it's hard because there are several boxing promotions. It's hard to see everybody,
Right.
because you got guys who fight over here in Japan, like Inoue and Tenshin, who started boxing now.
Yep.
Um, but like, what do you think about Dana White and Turkey Al-Sheikh getting into boxing?
Um, Me personally, I think it's a beautiful thing because I don't owe my my respects to boxing boxers like Floyd and them. I look up to them, but I'm a Jake Paul kind of guy. Like if it wasn't for Jake Paul, Logan Paul, I wouldn't be making the type of money and situations I'm making. So because it wasn't a lane for us, they kind of created that for me to be one of these people. And Dana White, as well as shout out to him. He reached out to me for a contract. I had a crazy viral situation that happened that he was looking for me to try to sign me to fight and stuff like that. That went crazy on Instagram. I had the chance to talk to him a little bit, and Turk, like I said, is love for them because they're opening up other lanes for boxing, and they want to see the greats fight the greats, and if not, at least the fights that the fans want to see that make sense. And I don't think it'll be able to happen with them because you really got boxers out here that don't respect the lane that we're creating, that we're doing, because they had to go through so much and they had to do so much. So I mean, I love the idea. I'm one of the people that I'm all for it.
Yeah, and they
Hope
say,
you see me
well,
on one of them cards.
yeah, they're saying, well, they don't have any. That's what De La Hoya is saying. They don't have any boxers yet. But what's to stop them from buying like top
Yeah, they could.
top
Yeah,
rank who's having some problems,
exactly.
with their scandal, and maybe Matchroom. I know Eddie Hearn's talking about retiring. They could buy a
Yeah,
couple organizations just like they did in MMA,
yeah, because
and
they
and all of
different
a
than
sudden
Top
now they
Rank and
have
all of them.
plenty of fighters.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Top Rank and all them kind of guys, but it got to make sense for them. You got to see lawyers. It got to pan out. Turk and Dana White, they one of them people that they put their money where their mouth at. They just like, okay, let's make the fight happen. We'll catch it on the back end. It's kind of always dangerous going against people like that because they bet on themselves. So I mean, there's never really no losing when you bet on yourself.
Has Ivan said anything about that? I'd like to know his thoughts on
Um,
Turkey and Dana. Have
like I
you asked him
said,
about it?
he's growing. He's getting more into the idea. Um, because he's saying and being involved in things that I have going on. And one of the main biggest influencers from Philly, like he's one of the main fighters and trainers at our gym, Greg Hackett. So to see what me and Greg do, not saying we're in the same lane, but to just watch those type of things manifest just by, being consistent and stuff like that. I mean, eventually you gotta love it and respect it. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it takes shape because they're just starting. They haven't really, it's because Turkey still has some commitments before they can start
Mm-hmm.
doing their project. So it'll be interesting to see what strategy they take. I know they're trying to get some things done with the Ali Act,
Mm-hmm.
amend some of that stuff,
Yep.
you know. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Now, for people watching this, like I know we talked about, you may have some bare knuckle fights coming up, but maybe where they could find some of the things you're doing.
Oh yeah, you could either Google Velocity, Stanley Velocity James III, or you could catch most stuff in my on my Instagram page, Big Stepper BIGSTEPP 3 3. And yeah, most of my main fights, unfortunately you had to purchase those. They are in my exclusives, but you could subscribe to my exclusives. I keep y'all up to date on everything. New fights that's coming, old fights, clips, Yeah, or you could go online. Like most of the fights that I have, they're either online, either bar stools, um, like I said, CFL, hype boxing, celebrity boxing, um, PBA, anything you could think of, man. Just Google my name to the keywords, and hopefully you like what you see. I'm just beginning. I get better day by day. Um, it's so much more to come. I'm young. I'm about to turn 34 May 1st. Um, got a couple more years left, like at least these last, 6, 7 years, and I already did a lot in this. Like I'm 11-0 in a year and a half. So I've been fighting at least once or twice every month, and I never stopped since I started. And I'm just focused and I'm dedicated. And yeah, once I go super pro and I start fighting matchbox and all that type of stuff, because that is my goal. Just stay tuned.
Now I notice that you go live quite a bit on Instagram. What are you doing with your lives?
So usually I'm really usually clipping. I started going live here and there. I wasn't able to go live for like 365 days. So this last year I've
Yeah, it
been
happened to
fighting.
me. And it was ridiculous because
Yep.
you know how the Griselda Blanco series came out on Netflix.
Yep.
So I just did a review of it because I had watched like Cocaine Cowboys and some of these other, and they did that to me. It wasn't like I was doing anything bad. I just said
Yep.
I watched the Netflix series. This is what I saw. I
Yep.
remember
It's
this from
crazy.
this time. Because I watched the documentary, and all of a sudden they didn't let me go live for a year.
Yep. So they wasn't able to
Unreal.
see things. They seen little clips that I would put in my story, but I wanted to go live for them to be able to experience the whole thing. And now since I go live, I kind of just tap in here and there so people could see. But I'm so scared for them to block me for 365 because I'm actually make money on Instagram. Like they pay me. So I try to stay in their good grace so I can keep monetizing things. So I'll be going live a lot more sooner. But to answer your question, if I am going live, it's probably just for showing what I got going on, spending time with my family and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm opening up the restaurant. So I'm just taking them through the process with me when I'm going downtown, getting the paperwork and showing them the buildings and going through the um inspection stuff. So things like that.
What's the theme of this restaurant?
Why so delicious? I would be selling soul food. Sundays here in Philly is usually them days where the family get together and it's them big meals you'll eat throughout the week. But Sundays is just like a big meal. So I'm trying to make this restaurant like a Sunday feel every day. You can always come get some yams, cornbread, black eyed peas, like those type of things. You ain't gotta wait until Sunday. You can eat this shit breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Hmm. You got to get Ivan behind your restaurant.
Yeah, I told him. He's involved in it. I told him he'll be able to get a free meal for a lifetime every day, and his boxers eat for free on me. Only meal preps and like good stuff. Like you could come and get your baked chicken, your eggs, and stuff like that. That's it though.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta get him more into
I
the
mean,
things like your
shout out to him. He just
like
got
your
his
live
sponsorship with
videos and
Title.
oh, he did.
Yeah, he got sponsorship with Title. We also got sponsorship with Bucked Up and Adidas Boxing. I'm supposed to go to the gym and shoot commercials and do all that stuff. It's been hard for me to do it because I've been on the road doing the movie stuff. But I'll be back in the gym in the next 2-3 weeks because I did have a bare knuckle um event that's supposed to be happening in June. I don't know if I'm still going to do it because legal
Legality. Yeah,
legalities. You know what I mean? And yeah, I got a couple other contracts that I signed that I gotta get things done. So it's gonna cut in between that. So I'll let everybody know within the next couple of weeks. But I do have some bare contracts that were sent to me already. I just couldn't take them because of like I said, weights and stuff like that. I really don't want to stay into the heavyweight things. Last time I talked to my doctor, I was damn near um pre-diabetic,
hmm.
so I gotta watch how I eat and stuff like that. I'm getting older, so I'm taking all of that into consideration. So I'll be back when I'm 100% at a solid weight that I feel super duper comfortable at.
Yeah. Well, if you train with Ivan, you're gonna lose all that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He got
So,
me down in 2 weeks. I lied
yeah.
to you not. The first time I met Ivan, I went in the gym at 270. I think the first week I weighed like, no lie, like 250.
Yeah. That's what he was known for. I mean, you watched his fights.
Yep.
Pop, 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 just punches nonstop.
Yep.
You know, that's why it was really enjoyable to watch him. So Stan, it's awesome to talk with you. And I appreciate you taking time to come on. Like I said, I have big respect for Ivan and Philadelphia
Come
fighting.
on, man.
I grew up
This
watching
the
the
Ty
HBO
Atkins
years.
show, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and I, like I said, when you have a fight coming up or anything, I'd love to have you back on. And yeah, I just wish you all the best.
All right, I
Maybe do
appreciate
some
you, man.
stuff with your restaurant or whatever.
Yep,
I'll
I
support
appreciate
anything
you,
you do.
man.
Well,
I'll make
great.
sure I let you know when we do a grand opening. Where you located in the world?
I'm in Oklahoma, actually.
All right, you in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't start my packaging and sending yet, but I do have that in my LLC paperwork. So when I start actually packaging and sending out, when I get my warehouse, I will make sure that I get some sent to you. All
Oh,
right.
awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, anytime. You have a great night, bro. It was good
You too. It
rocking
was
with you,
great
man.
talking and great meeting you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, everybody, check out Stanley James. And until next time, take care.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Virgo Queen here, and you are watching The Todd Atkins Show. Todd has been involved in covering the sport of mixed martial arts since the 1990s while living in Hawaii and Japan. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for future episodes.